think, in my opinion, you know, we as a culture have to literally look at what's going on and now decide to be on the opposite of it, instead of, you know, asking ourselves, you know, what we're wrong or why doesn't a person have what it is that maybe we have. I feel like that's when the next generation of educators and of innovative workers and of all of these people coming together now, reaching out to these people who need to be reached out to and help, who need that extra guidance or that extra support, to show them the way. You know, people of our culture are not generally around people who are doing good in their life, whether it's financially, spiritually, health-wise. And I think that more of the culture just needs to love on each other and literally just help that next person out.
And how are you doing that? Because you actually deal with children, right? You're an educator.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's definitely so.
Because this is something that's like natural
Yeah.
in the system, you know?
Yeah.
Now, at this point. So how do you deal with that on a daily basis?
For me, it just depends on like the age range and what group I'm specifically working with. And I love working with the older kids because I'm a realist. So I'm going to talk to you real. I think they need to be educated on who you exactly are. And I think people need to understand ultimately that their voice has so much power. It's very rare that a lot of people within our culture understand the worth of their own voice, the worth of who they are. And I feel like when you have people who glue that around them and install and drill that in them, that makes it easier to get across to them whatever message that they need to learn. Because people don't care about what you want to tell them. They really want to know how much you care about them. And then they'll be open to that.
Absolutely, but let me ask you this, because in the society in which we live, right, and the younger generation being who they are, because when we grew up and you saw somebody's mother coming down the street, grandmother coming down the street, whatever, if you had a cigarette in your hand, you hit it. If you were doing something that you were supposed to do, you cursed it, right? But in this generation, they'll blow the smoke in your grandmother's face. You know?
Absolutely.
So I think that, we have to take these young women, young men, whatever it may be, aside, right? Because they don't like to be talked at. They like to be spoken with.
Correct.
Right? And I think that not all of us are okay with going into these groups of children or young adults, because a lot of us are afraid. How do we address these young adults? How do we address these children and say, listen, this is not okay? I mean, I know for me it's something that I do on a daily basis, right? And it's not a struggle for me because thank God it's a gift of which He's given me. Right. But how can we let the people know? How can we tell the people who's watching, the people who's listening? When you see a young lady with her skirt up her behind, when you see a young lady who's moving in a way that may not necessarily be the best way for her to move, and you can go to her in a non-judgmental way because they don't want to be judged.
Right, I agree.
Right?
So we didn't want to be judged.
I agree.
About it growing up, because when you think about it, our mindsets, we thought we were right.
Right.
We thought we were right, and if we wore a short skirt, we weren't going to look for a boy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it wasn't our thing. We thought we was just being cute. So they probably think the same way, huh?
Right, but because we've evolved beyond that, how do we instill that in them today?
I think honestly, you just got to be bold. Like you said, so many people are just scared to say something or do something. But I just feel like personally, it's all just about action. I feel like there's not one person who is doing enough. There is not one person who is really being creative and really just sitting and thinking about how we can really reach a majority vast of people, communities, and kids. And don't get me started on the education system, because that's supposed to be a big help, and it's not as well. So I just feel like it's a team effort. It's not necessarily just the household or just the community, but it's more so a team effort of people.
I think that we're doing that now. We're being effective right now as a whole, as a unit right now, because we are speaking into these mics on Purpose Talk Radio, talking to the people. Yes, talking to the people, which in turn will actually we're speaking into their lives. And then they take it into their children's lives. Right. So it's doing its thing right now.
I mean, absolutely. It takes a village. And I think that, unfortunately, in a lot of households, the mothers can't give what they don't have. Right? And for a lot of them, or for some of them, they weren't taught the proper ways of doing things because their mothers didn't know. You know, and so they are unable to instill these things in their children. But I think that in that instance, we have to be okay as parents with saying, you know what, I just don't know how to do that. I just don't know how to give that to my child. So let me educate myself. And let me find a way that my daughter could be a better person than I was.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's just the bottom line.
Shout out to all the mothers that don't have children.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Hello.
Amen.
Thank you so much for being here. God bless you.